Hey y'all, welcome to my plus size grandma reality show podcast. It's Coco. How y'all doing today? So I decided um to talk about while I cook something to eat. I haven't ate today and y'all know I'm already hungry. I have decided to talk about the gang violence mind control. And this is something that I never, to be honest, I never thought much of it. I just thought, that when it came down to gang violence, that I just thought, it was mostly bloodshed and, taking over territories. And I thought that it would be more of a, because when you hear the word gang, you automatically assume that you're talking about, gang members. But in my case, I'm not talking about gang members, which they are not excluded. But that's not who I'm talking about. And the reason why they aren't excluded, because they are enlisted. They are oftentimes hired to do the dirty work for the person who has something against you, or whoever wants you out of town, or whoever wants you to shut up. They are enlisted by them. And so all of this never really makes sense until you start to actually go through it and live through it yourself. And I really honestly just never had no clue that I would have to be going through something like this. So on the thumbnail that I have here is actually a thumbnail of, oh, by the way, I'd like to say happy birthday to my son, Antonio. Happy birthday, son, before I get started, which I will be saying again later on. I don't know what I'm going to do for his birthday, but I kept asking, what do you want to eat? Do you want me to cook? Do you want to go out? And he was like, he's tired of going out to eat. So I'm going to come up with something to cook. Okay, now back onto this, because y'all know I jump because of the brain trauma that I've had. I do jump topics, okay? So let me stay focused. Okay, so violence, gang violence, mind control. Okay, so the mind control I'm talking about is the way, the techniques and the tactics that they use to keep you under submission, to keep you quiet, to keep you doing whatever it is that they want you to do. They want to instill that fear. And so, having never really been through this before like that, it reminded me so much of when I was with my ex and how he used to do me, and I would have this certain fear come over me till I would submit to what he wanted me to do, whether it was, go out and buy beer or, get a certain kind of food. They just give you that look and that, hey, I better do this if I don't want trouble. So that's how the mind control thing works. They come, they tell you what they want you to do indirectly. Can I speak to you on today? That they will tell you indirectly what to do. These are heavy believers of witchcraft. Okay? Witchcraft is an enemy of God, by the way. So those of you who take part in it, just know that it's not doing you any good to go to church and have this good image in the background is screaming witchcraft, So you might as well just do what you're going to do. Because none of us can put you in heaven or hell. So you might as well just do what you're going to do, right? Because that's what it is. This is a big witchcraft organization. It's a cult. And they want to control my mind and others' minds that are going through the same things, because we may not do what they want us to do, or they don't like the way we have done things in the past. But for whatever reason got our name on the list, now we're in the mind control program. And you can tell that, listen, don't ever let anybody fool you and think that you can't be brainwashed. Because even as witty as I am, and as much as I study, I am still under some brainwashing. And the fact that I know that is why I'm fighting it back. See, I didn't know that. I didn't realize that, after all the stuff I've been through, like today, the recent thing was they put lipstick under my nails and more dirt. I wake up and I see that and I'm like, okay, here we go. So this is training me to every day get up and check my nails. Guess what? That's a brainwashing. That's mind control. Because what if I don't want to wake up and check my nails? But now I've done it so much out of fear I am constantly checking my nails. If I go to sleep, if I take a nap, if I doze off, because you can doze off and not wake up for hours, how's my nails? And so now I'm a constantly checker of the nails. I've got to stop that. Just get up and wash your hands. But I've got to train myself to stop it because they train me, they brainwash me into doing this. This was not my regular routine. That's not the routine I had before this started going on. So that's how simple and easy a person can be brainwashed and mind controlled underneath this program that's going on, this experiment. We're human experiments, okay? Lab rats to the T. And gang members are getting paid for this. Now, the real gang members are getting paid to do this stuff for the people that's behind the door calling the bigger shots. Okay, so that's how that works. The real gang members do not have authority or permission to do anything to you unless they are given it by their boss. Okay? So if the boss says, and the boss analyzes everything that I do from the time I wake up, time I eat, they analyze my health, all that stuff comes into play. I know this sounds like something we see in a movie, and trust me, thank God I did see it in a movie, because if I had not seen it in a movie, I wouldn't know how to respond to it now. Okay. So, y'all don't mind, I'm going to start cooking here a little bit, because I am hungry. Okay, so the next thing is, when they're doing this mind control, sleeping. When going to sleep, we normally just go to sleep, right? We don't think nothing about anybody will whisper in our ear or anything like that. But if you have ever lived around a malignant narcissist, then you know the narcissist will use whispering in your ear as a form of control. What they do is tell you what they want from you, what they want you to do, how you to do it, and when you're to do it. That means that it's kind of like hypnosis, where they will have a certain charm, or they may knock on something like that when they get around you. And next thing you know, your brain has caught on to this from when they've been talking to you in your sleep or, doing whatever they do. And when you are in public and they make that noise, guess what? Your brain is activated to what they want it to be. Okay? So that's how that works. Once your brain activates, you're going to switch up from everything that you're talking about. That's like the other day, I was on Facebook Live, and a certain noise came through, and my brain switched up, and I couldn't carry the conversation out. And I think to my soul that when you look at what is that guy that keeps zoning out, and they keep calling it Alzheimer's, but it's really not Alzheimer's, it's mind control. God, he's the senator. Y'all, I'm finna have a fried egg for lunch, late lunch. He's the senator. What is his name? Oh my goodness. But anyway, that senator, he recently just had 2 episodes of where he was talking in public and then he zoned out. See, that's how I do. I'll start talking and then I zone out. But that's because I get hit with a laser and not realize that pressure's on me, because you can't feel it until your body starts overheating. And by the time it starts overheating, That's when you start losing your track of memory. You start losing the things that you know, and it appears that you are a person with Alzheimer's or dementia because they aim at your brain. If I touch back there at my hair where I permed it, that part of my hair is not straight like the rest of my hair because they aim at the parts of the brain that they want to control. And so they do a lot of stuff at the back of my head, at the top of my brain, and that part of my hair is like it never was permed, even though they cut it off. And they shaved more of it off yesterday. I got up and more of it was gone, and probably more is gone today. I have not checked. But that's how, see, like now I'm finna start having trouble because I can feel like they got the waves in here. These waves do not leave until they turn off whatever it is that they have. My ceiling fan, I do not leave my ceiling fan on like I used to. It used to stay on 24/7, but my ceiling fan is trained. It's not trained, but it has something in it where it'll make a certain noise that can immediately start making my chest hurt. It'll start clicking like that. Let me tell you another example. I went to the restaurant and see, remember I told you, it's called gang stalking, and that means they stalk you, they follow you wherever you go, they study you so they know how to hurt you more. The more they hurt you, the more they get off on it, on what they do. The end goal is to see you to respond in a way that's going to be dangerous for you. It's going to be dangerous for your health and anything that will take your life. They want to see you dead. That's the ultimate ending process of it. They want you to die. So, this guy, this is what alerted me to the clicking noises. This guy followed me to the restaurant. And while sitting in the restaurant, I'm sitting there eating, and he keeps looking at me, trying to intimidate me with his eyes, trying to basically look and see, does she remember my face? Does she remember my face? And what they mean by does she remember my face is, does she remember I was one of them in her room when she was sleeping? Does she remember what my voice sounded like? Does she remember my smell? Smell is a big thing. And they make sure to confuse my smell now, by the way, because I was picking up on too much smell. And so now they send me like trash smells. But he clicked this thing and it said, tick, 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 tick. He hit it up against the table in a certain pattern. And he expected me to respond to that pattern. Problem was, and I'm going to tell you something. They don't have to hit it really loud for you to respond. Because keep in mind, that's your subconscious mind that's going to respond. It's not your conscious mind that's going to respond to what they have done, but your subconscious mind. I'm teaching somebody who wants to learn. That's what I'm doing right now. Because, you know, that's where my gift is. That's where the gift God has given me is at. So they are awakening your subconscious mind. Once your subconscious mind opens up, you go into a zombie-like comatose state where you'll just do anything that they tell you to do. You know what's wrong with our community? Why a lot of our boys are messing up and ended up in jail and hurting one another? Because the enemy has learned of this and has known it for quite some time, that they can control a person's behavior by just breaking into their room and programming their subconscious mind. It's true. When this guy tapped on that thing, my subconscious mind alerted me that, hey, there's a noise you need to look for. And when I looked over there at him, he was steady tapping. He never took his eyes off me. I didn't take my eyes off of him. But see, being that I know how subconscious mind works, because I talk about it a lot on here, I was able to get myself out of that trance that he was trying to put me in to keep me from having a good time with my family. I was able to get myself up out of it. See, that's where the power of God comes in at. You got to really set yourself in God's arms. And you got to really discern what is of God. And when you know these things like this aren't of God, you have the power to walk up out of it and say, hey, I'm not finna do that. I'm not finna entertain that. And so that's what I had to do. To have a good time, I had to be like, well, I don't know what he's trying to do, but I'm not going to entertain it. A lot of our young men and women, this is how anybody can be tricked into doing something that is wrong. It's by this mind control thing. And if you don't think mind control is real, you need to go look it up. Look it up on Control Pro, InfoGuard. No, InfoGuard is where they enlist people at to play part of these mind games. But it's a whole bunch of stuff on the internet about government mind control. See, the thing about government mind control is when it gets into the wrong hands, that's when it becomes a problem. It's already a problem in the government's hands, but just think about if a drug dealer gets hold of it, or if, somebody who has evil intentions like a psychopath gets hold of it. Then they come and they experiment on people like me, trying to see what all they can get away with. Or see, some people get off on seeing your reactions, you suffocating in your sleep and stuff. A lot of times they have taken my sleep apnea. They took the mask off of me where I couldn't breathe at night. And to them it was funny because they got to record it, put it on the internet, get some views, make some money. I pray you don't make near another dime off of me. In Jesus' name. Amen. But that's how that works. And if you have been put into this program, and I do call it a program because mostly that's what it is. If you have been put into this program, you're going to experience similar things. You're going to be wondering, why are my family members going through this? You may begin to see yourself start losing family members. You may begin to see the family falling apart because of this mind thing, this mind control. You can see, for instance, this mind control was so potent that I watched a family member going completely from somebody who we knew to somebody we did not know. She turned into a commander. You hear me? Turned into a commander, somebody we did not know. And they was not able to come off and underneath this spell until they got away from it. Now that's how deep that this program is. If they want to turn you into a drug dealer and you're unaware, or they want to turn you into a prostitute or a thief, and you're unaware of programs like this, you'll go along with it thinking that this is the right thing to do because they have already programmed your mind for it. So these technologies in the wrong hands can cause a lot of problems. And it's here in our little small town of Canada. We have it here. The mind control thing, you have moments where you blank out. You don't remember anything. I lost my memory for 2 years. Amnesia. Went to therapist after therapist trying to figure out what happened to me. They kept telling me it was PTSD. Well, they didn't tell me that it was a such program called mind control that when they aim these lasers at you and they give you certain, whatever it is they do or say to you while you're knocked out under their control, in their control now, when you go to sleep at night, you belong to somebody else. Oh, I just said a mouthful right there. Every night I go to sleep, I belong to somebody else. In their mind, in their theory. Although in reality, I don't. But to them, I belong to them. And so they treat me as such. They treat my body as if it's theirs. They treat my mind as if it's theirs. And when they begin to programming me what they want inside of me. That's why it's good to have the Word of God hidden in your heart. No matter what they program, they can't take that away from you. But yeah, I went 2 years. I had amnesia. I could not remember a thing. I did not get my memory back until it just one day this year. I don't know what happened, but something happened and I got full memory back. I got my early years of childhood back. And come to find out, the stuff that I was even beefing with my mama about was not, yeah, she did some bad things, but we had forgiven each other for these things years ago. But however, who was doing this mind control thing to me had me, feeling like it was just not happening, and that she was doing more and more stuff, and she was doing more stuff, but she was under mind control too. They don't just go after one person. They go after families. That's why this is called gang violence. And this is why we need to be more aware about these type of things in our communities. Please educate yourself before you start getting into a bunch of, I know everybody has a gift inside of them, and we all sometimes want to use our gift for good, and sometimes we don't have patience to raise the money the right way, or to do wait till God helps us, and we want to jump head on into things and thinking that we're helping our community. But the things God was dealing with me about last night about these smaller communities is, don't give away your assets. Don't sign up for these programs that you got to give your people's names, their addresses, their birth dates, and give away all this information just so they could get food and stuff. And then that information is getting in the wrong hands, and these people are coming back looking for them, seeing their properties and taking them. Putting them sick with Alzheimer's and dementia, and then somebody has to take care of them, or they have to move in with family members, and their property gets taken. That is how territories are taken. And these people that are behind this are very territorial. They want more territory. So in order to get that, they have to do things to people and families, entire bloodlines, to get what they want. If you don't recognize this, you're going to be wiped out. Your family. I recognized it. And that's why I'm fighting now to survive myself. Whether anybody believes me or not, that's not up to me. But if you draw a circle of life and you think about the Census Bureau, and they said they got the census on all these places, and they got the census of all these places, the ages and the years and the addresses, more importantly, of all these people that live in certain areas, these low income areas. If you're in a small community that isn't thriving much, then you're considered a low income area. And there are lawyers and there are hunters for property who are looking at these properties and saying, hey, here's a whole community right here. We can overtake this community and we can put several stores here. Now, of course, they're going to put the stores there. Now, listen, they hired the gangs to run you out or to get you sick or kill you. And then they come back and put a store there. And then that same gang comes back and robs them. Come on, y'all. Work with me. So here we have. Y'all, my food going to get cold. I'm done cooking that part, but let me get it back together. So here we have is the circle of census. Now the census tells you how many people lives in a household. We're giving away too much information in order to get help. Laws need to be changed. We shouldn't have to give away that much information in order to get help. And because we do, give away that much information, they know how many people in our family to go after. And they come back and want our properties. Now, let me tell you, you don't know who's working for social services. You don't know who's working for Central Intelligence. You don't know who is working for in these communities that are saying, I'm here for you. I care for you. I see the needs of your community. And are a wolf in sheep clothing. They see the needs of your community, but they're not there for that. They're going to make you think they are. But what they're really there for is to take names of who they need to get out of these communities in order to take over these communities. Now, I do believe I got came after because my name happened to be over the property. I don't have a right to sell the property. I don't have a right to make major decisions about the property. I don't have that right. But I have the right to make sure that the property stays safe and that, I'm monitoring who's coming in and out and who's doing what. That is my right to this property. And that's where I stand. Now, I may be small in number or whatever, but that is still where I stand for my people. These are my people. Not just my people, but these are my grandchildren, my children, my nieces, my nephews, my siblings, my parents, my cousins all over this world. This is where I stand for them. And I just happen to be chosen because I live here to be one to overtake, take care of it. And so that's why they come after me. So this is the thing. This is a real thing. Territory is what everybody is after. The gangs are after territory, the real gangs, not the other kind of gangs that I was talking about earlier. But the real ones, they're after territory. And then we got the community gangs. They're after territory. Y'all, let me get a sip of water. They're after territory. Community gang members have a goal in mind. Somebody on that team, narcissistic probably, has a mindset that says, hey, I can get this done. I can get these people out and we can go ahead and apply for these funds because we already got the property. We're going to get this property one way or the other. That's what the narcissistic gang member, community gang member says. And they go after people for their property. And that's how that mind control works. Once they put you down as we need this property, then they send people in to start coercing your mind, to instill this fear in you that says you don't have any rights. You're not a citizen no more. You're excluded from the communities. Nobody's going to help you. The devil is a liar. If nobody else don't help, God is. And God will make your enemies help. You hear me? He will make your enemies bow down and help the very one they hate. I've seen him do it before. And that's where I stand on that. Now, once they get somebody in here to start doing the mind control, that's when you start going through the sicknesses and illnesses. They want to know how you behave when you're sick. They want to know what it takes to make you sick. They want to know what type of headaches do you have? How's your heart rate? Does your heart beat? Do you have a slow heart rate? Do you have a high heart rate? They want to know all that stuff so that when they begin to control you, those are the areas that they will aim at. Guess who gets aims? Yep, I do. I get aims. I get aimed at the heart and also at the private areas. And that is how they control. So when they control me, knowing that I know, what does that mean? What that means is if they want to come onto the property and do something, what they'll do is they will cut off my Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi. Once they cut off my Wi-Fi, oh, I did not mean to drop that in there. Once they cut off my Wi-Fi, y'all give me a sec. Once they cut off my Wi-Fi, that's when they send the people in to either destroy my home, put holes in my walls, tear up my floor, add more cameras, take out cameras, add more audio, take out audio, soup things up like refrigerators and stoves to work where they work inefficiently or where they will cost you more money. And so that the goal of that is to keep you broke and sick. That's the life I have been living the last couple of, the last year. I would say the last 2 years. Actually, I would say go back further than that. Go back to 2016. They can make you have cramps that hurt you so bad you would never get out of bed. They can play on your anxiety really bad to the point where your heart will be racing even when you're just sitting doing nothing. So there's lots of things that they can do to control your mind. Now, they might not be able to, they control it with pain, and they can get into your dreams. You'll be having nightmares of certain things. And they send you warnings all the time of what's to come. And you just have to pay attention to what you see on, some of your commercials that you have on your phone. And you be like, why am I seeing this all the time? They sent me a lot of life insurance commercials. Little do they know that God came that we could have life and life more abundantly. And one day we all got to go. We all got to get up out of here one day. So, anything to intimidate the mind and give you depression. And when they're playing with your mind like this is a form of mind control to control your mood. You know how it is when you have been in a bad relationship and that person controlled your mood. You start out real happy and then they come do something and it just takes the whole day away from you, just sucks life out of you. Well, that's what narcissists do. They are emotional vampires. They come to suck life. They come to kill, steal, and destroy. The Bible already told us this. So why are we acting like this ain't a thing right now? People are acting like this is the first time that they've heard of things happening like this. And it probably is to this degree. But we always knew that dishonest people were in government. And we always knew that there were a such thing as gang members. The gang members that we knew. A lot of people didn't figure that community could become gang members. But now we know that too. I learned that at age 47. No, at 45, I learned that the community could become gang members and turn against you. I learned that some of the biggest infiltrators are in the church, and they are leaders of this cult. They preach and they teach one thing, but then they go back out. As soon as they leave the church, they go back into the cult mode. And so it's a big cult thing. I mean, it's new to a lot of us, but listen, we ain't got to get used to it. We ain't got to conform to it. That's why you got to keep your mind on the things of God. And that's what's been helping me through. Now, just like I told you, I got up today. My fingernails were dirty and had lipstick under them. But you know what? And I think I got a bloody hand here. Yeah, I did have one. Yeah, they did more carving. And I don't know about my hair yet. And I'm still yet to take a bath yet. And I'm getting there, y'all. It takes time sometimes. And I know that it's good for me to keep my hygienes up. And that's one thing where they have controlled me at. Because And I'm glad I'm talking about it now because confession is good for the soul. And it's just good that I'm letting this out. Because I just actually did not think about it like this until I started talking on here. But they control my hygiene right now because what they done to me in the assaults that I was going through, and I'm not going to say the nature of them assaults, but it would be times I went from taking a bath like every day or every 2 days to now none existed because I got tired of feeling and in certain areas and things out of place, cut up, or, like might be shaved or might wake up on a bloody scene, So it got to a point where it was hard to sit down, it was hard to lay down, and just painful and tender. And so I just said, just let me just wipe a little bit, and that's it. And so I started using these wipes, and they help, but they ain't nothing like a bath. And so I'm going to try to push myself to get me a bath in today. No matter what time it be, I'm going to push myself. Even if I don't do nothing but the top half, I'm going to push myself. Because y'all don't know, this is some terrifying stuff. It's very terrifying. And it's traumatizing. And I have to figure out, like, each time they do something to me, I have to get my mind not to conform to that. And so right now, it's a spiritual battle of the mind. And the physical, I just pray all is well. But the mind right now is the most important thing that I'm holding to and definitely keeping guarded. And so sometimes that means I might not be able to take a bath until I feel strong enough to do so. And other times that means I may have to force myself to do so like I am now. Now I'm in the force mode because somehow I got into the stuck mode. But I'm going to force myself to do it because these things hurt. I'm not just talking. I mean, it's painful. This is how painful this mind control program is that they come in and they do. They control. They come in and they mess with your organs. They mess with your private parts to get you to do what they want you to do. And when I seen that picture of me, I was like, oh my God. I saw 2 pictures of me and it just like, I fainted. That's all I could say. I fainted. When I came back to it, was hours later. Because that's how bad it is. So the mind control. First, you got to put God in front of it. Second, you got to just have God in your heart. Third, more God. Because if you don't, it will get to be too much and just too heavy. And I'm not trying to tell you to be passive, but for me, what has worked is putting God in front of it. And, don't wear yourself out trying to fight them. If you try to fight back, you're going to get tired worse, right? So it's just like in a regular fight. You don't wear yourself out. This person's going to keep hitting you and hitting you and hitting you and coming at you with blow after blow. But if you keep running around trying to chase them, you're going to lose more energy. All we can do is cover ourselves in prayer and cover ourselves. And listen, not be afraid to do the criminal thing, Talk to law enforcement if necessary. But I don't feel like I was told so many different things that, like come and get us whenever you actually have something, call us in. And then when I do actually have something, they say it's nothing. So see, that situation there is so I just don't know how to take it right now. Which makes it more scarier to deal with the cops than it is to deal with the gang members that's coming out doing this stuff. They're all on the same team, so it's like it's like fighting a battle. They on the same team. They just coming from different angles, different points. And you gotta know which one is on the team and which one isn't. Because not all cops are evil, but some are. And that's even with, the mind control thing with going to the doctors. I was going to the doctors. They were doing certain things trying to play with my mind. Like I would go into one person's office and they would have their house fixed like mine. Y'all know what I'm talking about because some of y'all do it now. But they would have their office fixed like my living room. Same flowers, same kind of setup, TV and stuff. Y'all, that is mind manipulation. That is mind control. And that was to basically get me not to get the help for myself. That's what that was. And I would say it didn't work, but I stopped going to them people because they wasn't helping me. See, now, if they would have been helping me, I would have put up with that. Because I could look over that because I knew what it was. But see, the fact that they just weren't helping me, but they were getting paid off my insurance, that's why I was like, nope, gotta leave them. It wasn't worth it. So, another doctor office had the same thing, had their house set up like mine. And they'll start setting these suites out and stuff because, when you go through this mind control thing, when all that radiation and stuff hits you and drain you, it's like giving blood. You need something to get your energy back up so your body constantly craves sweets. My body constantly craves sweets. I should be saying y'all, so forgive me if I'm not. I'm just used to being in teacher mode. I'm sorry. I'm used to that. I'm used to being in my teacher mode, and so when I'm in my teacher mode, I talk like I'm talking to a class. Alright, y'all, so my food is getting just about done, and I feel like I didn't say enough on it, and I feel like if you want to know more about me, more about what I've been going through, then you probably have to go back and listen to more of these podcasts. Because I can't remember a time I have not talked about it on any podcast because so much just kept happening back to back. So pretty much, let me see where my TV remote. So pretty much the podcast I had done for the last year have actually been talking about this here. Gang stalking and mind control and what it's like going through it. Some of the things I've been going through. I mean, talking about my real life because this is my reality channel. And in my reality channel is my real life things that I'm going through. And this is a season I'm in right now. And notice the word I said, season. This thing is not going to last forever. I'm speaking into my life and my family's life. It's not going to last forever. It's going to pass. And we're going to be all right. And the ones who need to be locked up, they're going to be locked up. And I'm going to say it because they shouldn't be doing stuff. And I know they hear me. They came in last night and they lasered my arms and did more tying up and stuff. And the thing I just hate about it is that, why try to take somebody else's health? Why try to kill somebody? And that's what all this is attempted murder. That's what this is. Trying to take my life because of things I didn't have no control over. And what I did have control over, you mad because I said something. So that's kind of where we're at, y'all. And I got to go eat, y'all, because I have not ate today and I'm starting to sweat. Got to turn my air back on because I had it off for a while. Because sometimes they come through with them chemicals and I can't take the smell. All right, y'all. So peace, love, and happiness. If you have any questions or anything, just inbox me or something. You'll find me. Or just write it down here in the chat.